Well, welcome to Challenge Day. I'm losing track, you guys. 18, I think it is. And I posted in the group that today's topic was going to be on respect. And because of that, I typed in respect, and I've been sitting here meditating about this. And in light of everything that is happening in my life at the moment, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to postpone respect to another day because I think it's very important. Sometimes when things happen, I believe everything happens for a reason, exactly on time, exactly as the way it's supposed to be, no matter how horrible it looks, no matter how difficult it is. There's always a reason, and not only just for the one person, okay, but for myriads of people, because we're all connected. And we're all touching each other's lives at certain times and in certain ways. And so I'm touching your life for those of you who choose to watch this video, whether it be today or tomorrow or next month or next year. I'm trusting that the words I'm going to speak to you today are going to come through me and come and land for you exactly where you need them to land at the time that you need them to show up in your life. So, that being said, this whole week for me has been a revolving door of coaching young people. I have no kids that live at home except for my 21-year-old and one of my 40-year-old foster sons. And yet my house is overrun with young people constantly. So I've got one son and his wife who work in actually they have their business in our shop. My other son and his partner, he has his business here also, partially in the shop, partially in his office in his old bedroom. I have, my daughter has been sick this week, so she's been hanging out at my house because it's more comforting for her to come home and hang out at mom's and to lay on her own couch or whatever. And she's brought a friend, and another kid is staying here because he needed a place to stay for a few days. And my son has a business partner and a girlfriend, and he got a DUI, so he can't drive, so she has to drive him around. And I woke up this morning to a message from another son who said he got arrested last night, was in jail. And so anyway, I can't talk about my regular topic because I have to talk about where I am at this moment. So, just because your kids grow up and you get through the teen years and now they're in their 20s, it doesn't necessarily mean that we get to stop using this word. No, actually we get to use it even more. So I hope you'll get really proficient now while your kids are teens, because then when they get to be in their 20s, you'll be an expert. So anyway, so I'm going to talk about the ego because my son, I just got off the phone with my son, and he told me his whole story about what happened, and that he was innocent, and that his friend was kind of blacked out, was getting into a fight with somebody, and my son was just trying to separate them and stop the fight, and he ended up getting arrested and taken to jail, and his friend who was drunk didn't even get anything. And he was angry, and he was feeling like there was no justice shown, and he doesn't want to live here anymore. He wants to leave the country, and his life sucks, and he works for us in our flooring company, doesn't want to do that anymore, and he just feels really hopeless. And a couple weeks ago, he called me desperate to break the chain of depression and social anxiety and all these different things that he has been struggling with. And this young man has been through a lot in his life. He's one of my adopted kids, and he just has a lot of stuff he needs to let come up so he can look at it and sort through it and move on. And I'm constantly teaching him all these things that I've been teaching you guys. And so when he called a couple weeks ago, I said, okay, I put him in touch with a gal that I know who is a therapist, counselor. She works with, childhood abuse, PTSD, anxiety, addiction, all these different things. And so he went to see her, and he actually knew her because she actually coached part of the Ventana program that he went through. And he really liked her, and he went to see her, and it's been good. He's really happy she's helping him. Well, so this morning I said, okay, the number one thing I'm going to tell you is that you created this. And this is a gift for you. There's something here for you. There's something in this that is a gift. So you need to practice gratitude, and you need to say, thank you so much. This is awesome. I don't know what it is, but I know there's something here for me. Well, of course, what did he do? He resisted me. I mean, he's heard me say this so many times. I tell my kids this over and over and over again. I sound like a broken record. But I can't help it. I have to say it again because it's the truth. And so he was getting mad, and we were we were going back and forth on the phone, and I started getting a little tough with him because he said, no, I'm not going to go see her. I said, well, this is perfect. This is when your appointment is. He goes, no, I'm not going to go. I just blah, blah, blah. And he went on, and he was doing his normal thing. And I said, look at this. This is your ego. This is your ego who is used to being your master, who, number one, has created this for you to stop you because he has been doing really good lately. He said this last week he has felt amazing. He's attracted a new friend group that he's actually being his authentic self and feels really good and really happy. And I said, guess what? Your ego is shaking in its boots because it's starting to notice that you are gaining power. You are gaining confidence. You are gaining joy. You are operating in a higher vibration. And your ego doesn't like it. Because when you're in a high vibration, your ego doesn't get to be in the driver's seat. And your ego has gotten really, really, really comfortable with being the master, being in the driver's seat, and telling you what to do and keeping you down so that you can't take over and put your ego in its place where it belongs as a servant, not as your master. And he goes, oh, I can see that. He could see that when I put it to him in that way. He could really see that he was doing so well last week that his ego actually got frightened. And it is like searching for a way to get him out of the way again so it can get back in the driver's seat. And so he sounded really good, and we had a great conversation. And I said, you do whatever you want, honey. If you want to leave the country, if you want to do whatever, but don't do it until you face these things head on. All of these circumstances that are difficult, you guys, the things that you're going through with your kids, the knockdown dragouts, the screaming matches, all of these things that look so hard and challenging and yucky, okay, they are happening because you are ready to move and raise, whatever you want to call it. I want to try to use regular words and not airy-fairy woo-woo words, but the vibration of the planet is raising, and we need to raise along with it. And as we begin to raise our consciousness, to raise our vibration, our ego gets really afraid, you guys, and it wants to keep us down. And so it literally creates these situations in our lives. And yes, respect can come into it, and I'm going to talk more about that tomorrow. But one of the things that we do is oftentimes we talk to our kids in a disrespectful manner, not knowingly. It's unconscious. We're perhaps going through something, and we might say something in an offhanded manner that causes a reaction in them, and then things flare, right? And perhaps if you've been in a conflict with your child lately, perhaps that's what's happened. Perhaps one of you got triggered, and then the other one got triggered, and then it just turned into this thing that you couldn't you couldn't sort it out. So we again have to step back. Only thing we can do is own our side of the street. Okay, we've got to get ourselves in alignment. We've got to get our egos under control. We need to get out the duct tape and we need to tape that little gal up and sit her down and say, look, girl, you are not running the show in my life anymore. My higher self is who is supposed to be in the driver's seat. And I just, you just had me, I drank the Kool-Aid and I was asleep. And now, you know what? I've realized, Miss Ego, you are not to be in the driver's seat. You are here to serve me. You are here to help me with those fight or flight responses when they're appropriate. But so many things you make up, Miss Ego, all these things that aren't true. And I've been listening to you, and you know what? I'm not going to listen to you anymore. And you know what? She's not going to like it. So she's going to create things for you to get to be able to prove it. Oh, really? Really? Do you really mean this? Do you really mean it? So with my son, he's doing better. Has he done a complete turnaround? No, he hasn't completely. He was drinking last night, but I can only believe him that he said he only had a couple drinks. His friend is leaving town, and he knows he really should not drink at all. But I believe him when he said that he wasn't, I don't think that he was probably blackout drunk like his friend was, but I had a little talk about him. Who are you surrounding yourself with? What are the circumstances you're putting yourself into? All that stuff. There's a lot of elements to this, but the bigger picture is that literally he has been doing better, and he has been feeling good, and his awareness is raising, and he has been doing some work. But he is in a battle now with his ego, who's trying to keep him subservient. And you guys, this is what we're all dealing with right now, because we all have been letting our egos run the show. We have been. And they like it. And they like being in charge. So when we start taking action and making moves and doing different things, it is not necessarily going to be a smooth road. I wish I could say that it was, but I just have to be honest that these hiccups and bumps and obstacles and challenges and things are a blessing, because they bring up this stuff to the surface so that we can get emotions out of our field, so that we can have crucial conversations or courageous conversations. We can push through the resistance. Again, all of these things that I talk about, you guys, it's this beautiful tapestry. And when we have these hard circumstances, it's giving us an opportunity to create awareness, to practice, to exercise our muscle, to fall down, to get up, and it's all part of the whole process. And it's beautiful. So remember, the overarching thing, this is what I told my son. I said, the one thing I have to tell you, have to tell you, to embrace your circumstance and look for the gift. Ask your angels, ask God, ask whatever is your, whoever you ask, you've got help there to help you see what it is and give you answers. So get quiet, go within yourself, pray and meditate, and ask for the assistance of the angelic realm to come and show you what there is in your circumstance that you need to see, where it is that you need to shift. Because ladies, it always starts with us. Yeah, there's stuff going on with the other people involved in our lives, with our kids, with our spouses, with our coworkers, with our boss, whatever it is. Yeah, they have their stuff too, but we can't even deal with those people until we deal with our own stuff first. And we're coming from a place of love, of openness, of awareness, of non-judgment. That's another one I really need to add on here before we end here in a few days, is judgment and non-judgment. So anywho, I kind of feel like I've been all over the place today, but I hope that these words are inspired, that they're helping you, that they're landing, and I want you to keep your chin up. I want you to smile, And again, what I told my son today was I said, you need to sit down and write a gratitude list. Write a gratitude list. Because there's tons of things that you have to be thankful for. And in all honesty, this situation is one of them. So get out your pen and paper, make your gratitude list, spend some time in prayer meditation asking what it is that you need to see in the circumstance that you're in. Embrace it, don't resist it, and you are going to find miracles happening in your life. I guarantee it. If you'll follow these things that I'm teaching you guys, miracles are going to become part of your daily life. It's so exciting. So have an amazing day, and tomorrow I'll intend on talking about respect, okay? Unless something else crazy happens that I feel like I just have to talk about.